What's your name and where are you from?
Jennifer Johnson from Scottsdale, Arizona.
And what do you do, Jennifer?
I'm an addiction therapist, and I've recently, the last 2 years, I spent in Orange County, California, but I've just recently moved back to Scottsdale, and I'm looking into opening my own center, my own wellness center, and it's been a joy to be here.
Awesome. So how did you hear about Quantum University?
I heard about Quantum University first off working with Dr. Joe Dispenza. I've done several of his workshops, and what he described, I wanted to come and explore myself.
Nice, okay. How has Quantum University affected your career?
Well, being here has just been enormously motivational for me in the fact that all of these things can really be integrated into what I do. From Dr. Patrick Porter with his workshop here, kind of the motivational interview with clients as we do intakes, and really meeting them where they're at, which would go into, I loved what Dr. Hanan Aboub said with meeting the client, and in the field that I'm in, celebrating their victories and turning it more into a positive. Their addiction is very dark, and it needs a lot of love and light, which is how I described Estelle with the yoga and painting. She just exudes love and light, and so that was amazing to me, the painting therapy. And there's so many of these things that I can incorporate with the clientele that I work with in an integrated form that it's just been an amazing experience for me. And I'm not a student here at the university, but I certainly am intrigued to become one now.
Nice. Okay, so have you experienced, like in your practice currently, any, I guess, firsthand transformational healing?
Definitely. That intuitiveness that we learn to tap into, sometimes even if I was hearing an intake and counseling with someone where you're just not quite sure what to do, but then you can learn to trust that gut that we talk about and that we learn to tap into and really listen and trust. That has become a very useful, very grateful for that tool, because that's the shift that you can see in your clients.
Okay, so I kind of have a sense of how it's affected your professional career.
Yes.
What about like personally, like things you've learned from Quantum and whatnot?
Yes.
Personally, how?
Personally, just the
Before
to be.
you answer,
Yes.
Can I repeat the question? Quantum
Yeah.
has personally affected your life.
Yeah. Quantum University has personally affected my life on just stopping and recentering, and then opening up, receiving the gifts that it has to offer, and the knowledge and the integration of so many things coming together to work together, and treating the person or myself, my family as a whole, and not just one thing or the other, but as a whole.
Great. I like that. Okay, almost done. Let's see. Did we talk about your most rewarding part about what you do?
Yeah, just my most rewarding part in my field is really seeing when a client can make that shift and kind of, what I would say, come out of the darkness and get through that stormy part of life, or their chapter that they're in, and into lightness and peace and serenity and sobriety many times for the field that I'm in of addiction.
So yeah, what's the range of addiction that you go?
The past 2 years, mainly about 90% of my clients were heroin addiction. So very, we're seeing that opiate epidemic in our nation. The United States has over 80% of all of the world's opiate addiction, so we have a very big problem here, and I think it takes somebody to think outside of the box in how to treat that. And so that's what Quantum University has really helped me with, is thinking outside the box and what else can we do to get these people out of that darkness and back into the light of just life.
Wow, it's kind of intense.
It is. It's
Yeah.
intense.
I've actually had a couple friends who like to go to therapy for that. Yeah.
It is. It's very common, really, now, sadly, but you don't have to take anybody that I meet. It's, oh, my brother, or my sister, my aunt, my sometimes child, and there's so many, accidental overdoses that's happening. People are dying. It's the second largest, right behind car crash. So.
Okay, let's start here. Okay, I know you kind of touched upon about this a little bit, but the highlights again.
The highlights of Quantum University have been meeting everyone. The professors here are amazing.
You can repeat too what you.
Yeah. Dr. Patrick Porter's, just the motivational interviewing and the tools that he teaches for meeting people where they're at and really getting them through. I've loved that. Dr. Hanan Aboub is amazing. I think I just lit up when I sat in her workshop, because she speaks the language of the same that I do, that meeting people with as clients and looking at the whole, and not just from psychosocial to health to chakras to everything in a whole, the whole being, and just balancing that body, mind, and spirit. Estelle, I mentioned her, she is just love and light. Painting and doing yoga, breathing with her was such a gift, and I just wanted to put her in my pocket and take her home with me and put her into my practice. And just really talking with all the other students and learning from everyone, sharing our stories with each other. It's really an amazing place to be.
Would you recommend Quantum University?
Definitely. Like I said, I'm not a student. I came here to really just explore, and now I'm definitely leaning towards becoming one.
Nice. Okay, so we're done with the questions. We're doing this kind of fun thing where we're kind of stringing together this phrase that everyone's been saying. It's I am the future of healthcare.
Okay.
But before you say that, I kind of want you to say your name first, just so you kind of take ownership of that statement.
And then look in the camera, or
Look at me though.
Okay.
Yeah.
Jennifer Johnson. I am the future of healthcare.